Hello guys, hurry up to join the stream. Holly, how are you dear? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Mala. I have a lot of respect of you joining to the stream. I want to going to write the name of the everyone. Space, how are you, Space? Where are you from watching, my dear? I have to respect of you joining my stream. I have a lot of respect of you joining my law. Space, how are you, my dear? Where are you from watching my stream? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Just guys, double tapping on the screen. I wanna going to write the name of the everyone, guys. Let me adjust the lights. 1 second. Yeah, let me just adjust the light, guys, and start to write the name of the everyone, and also drop every person, drop the flag of your country. Where are you from watching my screen, my love? You are all the member are very respectable for me, guys. Space, how are you, Space? Where are you from watching my lovely brother? I respect of you joining my stream. Our first member on our stream is Holly. How are you, Holly? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Holly. And the second, you are from watching Norway. Second member is a Space. How are you, Space? Thank you so much for watching from Norway, Space. And a lot of respect of your joining, Space. Thank you so much, Space. You have subscribed my channel. If you wanted to appreciate my stream, you can send me a sticker. You can me a donation on my stream. Click on the money icon to do a super chat on our stream. Every member are very respectable for me. Thank you so much, Holly. Thank you so much, Space. Thank you so much for watching from Norway. Hurry up, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Every member are very respectable. Kari, I don't have, no problem, Space. No problem, my dear. Kari, how are you, Kari? You can join my stream. No problem, Space. Kari, how are you, Kari? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Kari. Nicolic, how are you, Nicolic? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Nicolic. I have to respect of you joining my stream. Kali, how are you, Kali? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Mala, and a lot of respect of you joining. Yeah, guys, double tapping on the screen to make a donation on our stream, guys. Yeah, we need a one Superman for donating on our stream to touch the goal, and yeah, guys, to touch the goal and make a donation on our stream. Your joining is my pleasure. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Oh, know you. How Dancy? How are you? How you know me there? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Dancy. And Nicole, how are you, Nicole? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Nicole. I have to respect of you joining to the stream, Nicholas. I know you. What do you mean? You know me here. Alright, guys, hurry up to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Dimala, how are you, Dimala? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Dimala. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat and double tapping on the screen, guys, to subscribe the channel and drop the flag of your country. Where are you from watching the screen? Aziz, how are you, Aziz? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, near. And Curtis, how are you, Curtis? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Allah. To respect of you joining my stream. Thank you so much for being there, my friend. Hurry up, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Thank you so much for joining our stream. Hurry up, guys, double tapping on the screen, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for being there. And a lot of respect of you joining. Risha, how are you, Risha? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Risha. Hi Risha, how are you dear? Thank you so much for joining to this stream. Please make the like and subscribing the channel. Yeah guys, hurry up to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for the making like and the sharing. Kathy, how are you Kathy? Thank you so much for joining to this stream there. Hurry up guys to write your name to the screen and also write your name in the chat. Where are you from watching the screen? Adi, how are you Adi? Thank you so much for joining to this stream Adi. You are sweet. Thank you Ronan. Thank you so much. Hurry up guys to write your name in the chat to make the like and subscribing the channel. And also I remember our very respectable family, those have to make the like and subscribing the channel and to do a super chat on our stream. Yeah guys, hurry up to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream guys. Daddy, how are you Daddy? Thank you so much for joining our stream Daddy. Shawan, how are you Shawan? Thank you so much for joining to the stream Shawan. How are you, Shavon? Thank you so much for joining our stream there. Almina, how are you, Almina? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Almina. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for being there. I have a lot of respect after joining to the stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel. Thank you so much for subscribing my channel, Addison. How are you, Addison? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Addison. I have to respect of you joining my stream, my love. Yeah, guys, I really appreciate and respect of you joining to the stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel, guys. Thank you so much for joining our stream. Hurry up, guys. Lilina, how are you, Lilina? Thank you so much for joining. Sorry guys, I'm here right now to hurry up to join your name right now guys. I have to miss the name. I really apologize for that guys. Right now you should to write your name right now guys. Antonio, thank you so much for joining your Citrine. Yeah, guys, to write your name in the chat. Adarina, how are you, Adarina? Thank you so much for joining to the Citrine, Adarina. How are you, Mr. Adarina? Akashura, how are you, Akashura? Thank you so much for joining to the Citrine. Ikashira, how are you, Ikashira? Thank you so much for joining, Ikashira. Chandra, how are you, Chandra? Hurry up to write your name in the chat. Razia, how are you, Razia? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Ario, how are you, Ario? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Musawir, how are you, Musawir? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Musawir. Yeah, Musawir, hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for being there, guys. Please double tapping the screen, guys, to encourage the watching. Yeah, guys, double tapping the screen, guys, to encourage the watching, guys. To write your name in the chat. Lara, how are you, Lara? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Lara. Vinny, how are you, Vinny? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Vinny. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. To write your name in the chat, guys, make the like and subscribing the channel. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Hurry up, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Shiva, how are you, Shiva? Thank you so much for joining. Aris, how are you, Aris? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Hi Shiva, how are you, Shiva? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Dylan, how are you, Dylan? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Dylan. Aline, how are you, Aline? Thank you so much for joining, my lovely honey. I have to respect of your joining. Alexandra, how are you, Alexandra? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, my dear. Alexander, thank you so much for joining. Welcome, dear. Welcome. Where are you from watching, Aline? Where are you from watching, dear? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, my dear. Corita, how are you, Corita? Thank you so much for joining. Dylan, where are you from watching, Dylan? Thank you so much for joining my stream. Alice, how are you, Alice? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Alice. Where are you from watching, Alice? I have to respect of you joining, my dear. Welcome, Alan. Where are you from watching, Aline and Dylan? Where are you from watching, dear? Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat and do a super chat on our stream, guys. Click on the money icon to do a super chat on our stream, guys. Jale, how are you, Jale? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Jala. How are you, dear Jala? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Yeah, guys, to do a super chat on our stream, guys. Thank you so much for joining our stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel. Thank you so much for joining us. I have to respect of your joining. Yeah, guys, to write your name in the chat. Welcome there. How are you there? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Payam, how are you, Payam? Dara, how are you, Derek? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Derek. How are you, Derek? Gia, how are you, Gia? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Gia. Alifan, how are you, Alfan? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Welcome back again, Space. Thank you so much for joining my stream. Thank you for joining Space. To write your name, guys. Yeah, guys, to do a super chat around our stream, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Yeah, guys, and also drop the flag of your country. Where are you from? Watching the screen. Grayson, how are you, Grayson? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Shukriya, Kadir, thank you so much for joining to the stream. Ayon, how are you, Ayon? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Hurry up, guys. Zinal, how are you, Zinal? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Zinal. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat, to make the like and subscribing the channel, to do a super chat on our stream, guys. Yeah, guys, I really appreciate and respect of you joining my stream, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Right, guys, to write your name in the chat. Hurry up, guys, double tapping on the screen to make a donation on our stream, guys. Keep joining, guys. Thank you so much for joining my stream. I have respect of your joining to the stream. Among Us, how are you, Among Us? Thank you so much for joining, Among Us. Rayan, how are you, Rayan? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Rayan. Clark, how are you, Clark? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Mania. Yeah, guys, hurry up to write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining our stream, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat, to make the like and subscribing the channel, and click on the money icon to do a super chat on our stream, guys. Yeah, guys, someone has to do a super chat on our stream. Hurry up, guys. Hurry up to Terry. As I know there, I have to write the some names only. I cannot write the infinity names of the infinity of a one person. I have to write just the 2 to 3 name of the one person. Noah, how are you, Noah? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. And the other name I have to consider in spam. Armina, how are you, Armina? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Armina. Yeah, I have ignored the all. Thank you so much for joining, Armina. I have to respect of your joining, my dear, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Ashile, how are you, Ashile? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Ashile. I have to respect after joining. Jones, how are you, Jones? So where are you from watching there? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Jones. Yeah guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Yeah guys, I really appreciate and respect of your joining. Hurry up guys to write your name. Jonas, I write your name my dear. Looks that I write your name. Please don't spam my dear. Amna, how are you, Amna? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Amna. Hurry up guys to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel. Keep joining guys, keep typing and keep joining. Hi Mita, how are you? James, how are you, James? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, James. Maida, how are you, Maida? Thank you so much for joining to the stream now. Gangan, how are you, Gangan? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Gangan. Hurry up guys to write your name in the chat. Evie, how are you, Evie? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Jessica, how are you, Jessica? Where are you from watching, Jessica? Thank you so much for joining my stream, my dear. I have to respect of your joining. Yeah guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Robina, how are you, Robina? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Robina. Leons, how are you, Leons? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Leons. Thank you, James. Where are you from watching, James? James, can you do a super chat on our stream there? Sammy, how are you, Sammy? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Sammy. Leons, I write your name, my dear. Thank you so much for joining, Sam. I write your name, my dear. Hurry up guys to write your name in the chat and do a super chat on our stream, guys. Thank you so much for being there. Mohit, how are you, Mohit? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Eric, how are you, Eric? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Erica. Hi Ali, how are you, Ali? Thank you so much for joining my stream. Where are you from watching, Ali? Thank you so much for joining my stream. Yeah, I will write your name, Erica. Erica. Where are you from watching, James? Where are you from watching there? Thank you so much for joining my stream. Thank you, thank you. Where are you from watching, James? James, can you do a super chat on our stream there? Yeah guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining our stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel, guys. To do a small donation on our stream. Ashile, how are you, Ashile? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Ashile. Fatima, how are you, Fatima? Where are you from watching, Fatima? Thank you so much. I love watching you. Thank you, Sammy. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Jaro, how are you, Jaro? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Jaro. Hurry up, guys. Click on the money icon to do a super chat on our stream, guys. Yeah, if somebody can easily make a donation on our stream, to make a super chat on our stream, guys. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Lexi, how are you, Lexi? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Lexi. Samuel, how are you, Samuel? Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for subscribing there. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining my stream. Thank you, Sammy. Punia, how are you there? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Yeah, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel, guys. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining our stream. Mylena, how are you, Mylena? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Mylena. Oh, sorry. Okay, dear. Thank you so much for joining my stream. Zoe, how are you, Zoe? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Zoe. Ashide, I read your name there many times. Please don't spam, my dear. Mia, how are you, Mia? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Mia. Where are you from watching, Mia? Thank you so much for watching my stream. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining my stream. Halmi, how are you, Halmi? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Halmi. How are you there? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel. Harta, how are you dear? Thank you so much for joining to this stream, Harta. Thank you so much, guys. Hurry up to write your name in the chat, guys. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Jesus, how are you, Jesus? Thank you so much for joining to this stream. Nai, how are you, Nai? Thank you so much for joining to the city ring. Yeah, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel. James, how are you, James? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, James. I have to respect if you're joining, my dear. Hurry up to write your name in the chat, guys. Hi, Omar. How are you, Omar? Thank you so much for joining to the stream there. Yeah, guys. Alexander, how are you, Alexander? Thank you so much for joining to the stream there. Hurry up, guys. Double tapping the screen, guys, to write your name in the chat. I want to know from every person, where are you from watching the screen? Labis, how are you, Labis? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Labis. Helmi, how are you, Helmi? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Leah, how are you, Leah? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Leah. How are you, Lala? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Macaulay, how are you, Macaulay? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, my dear. Thank you so much for being there. I have to respect after joining to the stream. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Please do a super chat in our stream, guys. Yeah, guys, if somebody can do a make donation on our stream, to click on the money icon to do a super chat on our stream, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Koreshe, thank you so much for joining to the stream, Koreshe. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Fatima, how are you, Fatima? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Fatima. Thank you, Fatima. Miley, how are you, Miley? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Malikat. Thank you, Malikat. Hurry up, guys. Double tapping on the screen, guys. Double tapping on the screen, guys. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Freestyle, thank you so much for joining to the stream. David, how are you, David? Thank you so much for joining my stream, David. Hurry up, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel, guys, and to do a super chat on our stream. Ovi, how are you, Ovi? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Simone, thank you so much for joining our stream there. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Evelyn, how are you, Evelyn? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Evelyn. How are you, dear? Thank you so much for joining my stream. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining my stream. Saif, how are you, Saif? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Saif. Jose, how are you, Jose? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Jose Angel. Where are you from watching, Jose Angel? Thank you so much for joining my stream. Mia, how are you, Mia? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Mia. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for being there, guys. I have a lot of respect if you're joining to the stream, guys. Please, to make a small donation on our stream, click on the money icon to do a super chat on our stream, guys. We are Evelyn, Mia, and Evelyn. I have write your name, Evelyn. Thank you so much for joining to the stream there. Mia, I write your name there. Ashok, thank you so much for joining to the stream there. Muzaf, how are you, Muzaf? Thank you so much for joining to the stream there. Hurry up, guys. Annie, how are you, Annie? Where are you from watching, Annie, sister? Thank you so much for joining my stream, man. There, I have a lot of respect if you're joining my stream. Where are you from watching, Annie? Pablo, how are you, Pablo? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Pablo. Hussam, how are you, Hussam? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Hussam. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Satu Turo, thank you so much for joining to the stream. Lois, how are you, Lois? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Lois Bride. Thank you so much for joining our stream there. Ahmad, how are you, Ahmad? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Ahmad. Hurry up, guys, to write your name and don't spam on the screen, guys. Maria, how are you, Maria? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Maria. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining my stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel. Amir, how are you, Amir? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Amir. Hurry up, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel and to do a super chat on our stream, guys. Soil, how are you, Soil? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Thank you, Soli. Ahel, how are you, Ahel? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Nauman, how are you, Nauman? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Nauman. Farhan, how are you, Farhan? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Farhan. Amira, how are you, Amira? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Amira. Zayad, how are you, Zayad? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Zayad. Muhammad, how are you, Muhammad? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Muhammad.